I mean live.
Hey guys, we are live. Let's see, we got Sinfuls on here already. Let me just switch up some things here. The settings. I'll go for pop and we'll do the live chat. There we go, guys. So we are live here. Tonight we're going to have any subject you guys want. And we haven't been doing a lot of videos lately for a few reasons. I've been busy this week with some legal issues, and the legal issues are all gone. So that's good. So I feel like a freed man now, because we're over that now, and it's been a bit challenging for the past 6 months, but it's all done now, so that's a good thing. But anyway, let me see, get this all set here. All right, so who do we got on here? We got 5 people on here already, and also I want to give a big shout out to Justin tonight, because Justin's been he's helped me a lot in the past 6 months with a lot of things, and he's been a big help, and I just want to thank him for that friendship of helping me this past week. Let's see, we got Not So Crazy John on here. How you doing, John? Good to see you on here, man. Who else we got on here? We're up to 14 people already. So tonight we have any subject you guys want to talk about except for politics. You know, so we just don't talk politics on here. We kind of stay away from that subject mostly. Sometimes we'll talk about it, but very rarely. But anything you guys want to talk about tonight? Any questions you have about the Philippines? We actually had a party here today. Kind of a quick party we threw together for Justin's birthday today, and we just had a small group of people come in today for that. Michael L is on board, so how you doing, Michael? And we got Sinfuls on here tonight, and Michael, they'll be doing the moderating tonight. Not So Crazy John, how are you doing? Referencing Tagaytay. I'm doing okay. I mean, Tagaytay, I'm planning on looking for a place over there as like a second place possibly. I'm looking into it. But I'm not ready yet, but sometime in the future I'll probably end up getting a place over there. Klepto, New York City. Hello from New York City. Love the content and sending good wishes your way. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. But yeah, we got some more content coming out this week. Actually, we got some interesting stuff about personality types over here that kind of get taken advantage of over here. They kind of, there's certain personalities over here. One of them is like empathic people over here kind of get taken advantage of. Klepto New York City says Tagaytay has no Grab. They do have something similar to Grab, but it's called something different. I'm not sure what it is. Somebody told me the other day that they do have something over there, but yes, they don't allow Grab unless you're in Silang, you know. So let's see, not So Crazy John says, I'm thinking of Tagaytay or Batangas. Tagaytay, let me tell you something, I would go with Batangas more so than I would Tagaytay. The only reason why I'm looking at Tagaytay as a second place is because it's close to me. I can jump in a vehicle, jump over there, and go over there really quick. Klepto New York City says, when I was there, it was trike only, LOL. Yeah, the trikes over there are a bit expensive too, and they're not the real trikes that we see in most of the Philippines. They're tuk-tuks, and they charge a lot. They're almost like the price of a taxi cab, for God's sakes. They're expensive. The rides over in Tagaytay are bent more towards the tourists over there, so they really rake in the money. Like the prices that they give you is incredible what they charge for a tuk-tuk ride, for a short one even. They rip you off, and if you say, no, that's too expensive, they don't care. They'll lose that money. You try to negotiate with them and you go to walk away, they don't care. They'll let you walk. You know what I mean? Sinful says, Not So Crazy John, also look to Nuvali or Santa Rosa area. Nice area, complete with all. Yeah, those are nice places too, John. Let's see, Peter King says, what is Grab? Grab is like an Uber or Lyft. It's very similar. It's very reasonable. It's cheaper than the cabs. Some of the cabs over here are also Grabs, just for you guys that are new. They also work dual, and they'll take Grab rides because sometimes they don't want to miss those Grab rides, you know. So this way here, they rather than sitting waiting for a ride to come to them, a Grab comes over the phone and they'll go out and grab it and then come back to their usual place where they wait. Klepto of New York City says housing was very, very cheap. Let's see, ferries to various islands. Let's see. There's lots of ferries around here from Batangas too, you know. Let's see. Michael L says Grab bought all of Uber's Southeast Asian assets in 2016. Yes. I think Uber was selling out because I think Uber sold to them because of the fact that there was something going on in the Philippines and they just didn't like the way that they dealt, I think. That's what I heard anyway. Sinfuls, ferries will take you about anywhere. Yeah, out of Batangas, they have ferries down there. And ferries are good because you could even do van life over here. That's actually a video that I'm going to be doing in the future too. Is about van life and how you can do van life over here, because a lot of people have been writing to me asking me about van life in the Philippines, and I told them, well, why would you do van life when you can have a place over here for $80 a month, and you can travel and stay in hotels and stuff like that. But if you wanted to go in a van, you have to pay the ferry fees, and parking is kind of hard to find. It's not like you can pull up in front of Walmart and sleep there overnight or something like that. It's hard to find a place to sleep here that's safe. I would not want to be van lifing in the Philippines. Let's see. Lynn says, "Good morning. Hope everyone got sick. Good morning. Hope everyone got sick, but getting well. Not here in Philippines during afternoon." Michael L says, "Not only Philippines, it is an Asian-wide thing." Yeah, but the Philippines did not like Uber for some reason. I'm not sure why. Lynn says, "Get well." Let's see. So what else we got on there? Let's get some more questions up here, guys. We're up to about 45 people, 11 thumbs up. Let's get some more thumbs up on there. Let me try to shut this thing off here. I got my computer on here, so the computer screen's changing every so often, so I have to hit it every so often. Lynn says everyone is okay. How you doing, Lynn? Michael, I would not want to van life anywhere, especially in the United States today, because it's not safe. You hear a lot of stories from back home, and they're not very friendly. The police are not very friendly to van lifers anymore, and there's too many people van life, and it's almost becoming like a form of homelessness. But there are people out there that do like van lifing, and they're not really homeless. They just choose that life. As a matter of fact, I know some people that live that way, but it's not really happy life, I don't think. But it is. I do know some people that do like it. Frank says, "Buy a tuk-tuk for transportation." We actually have some people here in town that use the tuk-tuks for transportation, and they like them. I've talked to one of the guys that has one around here. He lives up the street here, and he enjoys it. He says he likes it. It's kind of like driving like a small car. He says they're faster than some of the other vehicles around here, the electric vehicles, and they're more fun to get around with, and you can go shopping and keep up with traffic too. Sinful says, "So I'm in the U.S. still, sure missing home there. Another 4 weeks. Ugh." Yeah, Sinfuls is back in the U.S. right now. He's back there visiting for a while, and he'll be back in like 4 more weeks. But he's still doing our moderating, which is good. And we also got Michael on here doing moderating tonight. Tom Johnson says, "I was getting Grab food delivery for 50 pesos. Can't believe McDo's is cheaper in the Philippines." For you guys back home, and I know we have a lot of people back home that watch this channel, and we usually have about 1,500 people that watch this live stream on average, somewhere around 13 to 1,500 each week, even though they don't always watch it live. We do have usually a lot of people that click in here for like 10, 15 minutes and watch for a while, and then they go watch something else. Sometimes we catch people's interest, sometimes we don't. But anyway, Tom Johnson says, "I was getting Grab food delivery for 50 pesos. Can't believe McDo's is cheaper." McDonald's is about half the price or more here in the Philippines. It's about half the price. It's about 200 pesos, which is less than $4, for like a Big Mac meal over here with a Coke and French fries for you guys that are back home. Michael L says, "Philippines do not like non-Asian owned businesses. Notice there is no Amazon in the Philippines. Only Shopee and Lazada." Yes, I believe that has something to do with that. It's kind of funny too, because they like Western goods and Western things, but they don't want to deal with Western companies and stuff like that. I mean, they have Starbucks and McDonald's, but it's only certain things that they like. If they don't like it, they don't want it here. And Uber was kind of going up against the taxis over here. That was one of the problems, and that's the problems in the other. And also, they're unionized over here. I believe some of the taxis might be unionized. I know in the other countries it was union issues. I'm not sure if it's the same over here. Just a Bill too says, "It's a shame about Grab. Some credit cards offer Uber credits each month, which will go to waste for expats in Asia as it's Grab, not Uber." Yes. Leonard Marlin says, "Best thing we did was to plan to have 3 different homes on different islands. We have a great time traveling to a different home for a week each month and have a great time checking out our interests. That's kind of cool, Leonard. And that's kind of what I've been telling people here, that I have a beautiful home here. Okay, I love my home here. I mean, it's very homey. It's I made it mine. Anybody that's been here will tell you it's almost like an American style, apartment here. The way I've got it all rigged up, I have my AC. You can see it above my head right there. And something, it's great because you can get these places and get 2 or 3 of them here for $240 a month. I mean, the only thing you have to do is pay the electric and the water bill in those places, but you don't have to have the AC running all the time. You can be switching between them all the time. Simple says, yes, I am in Utah this week. That's cool. I like Utah and Nevada. Those are my favorite states. Arizona. I like that area. Bob Phillips says, hello, Steve. My question is, how much do you think the cost of living has increased in the Philippines? A lot. I do see gated community prices going up a lot recently. Here in Tracy, it was $466 at Hope Residences. Recently, they've been going for $600 and $700, and they're starting to rent them out. But they have a whole bunch of, I believe they have like 90 of them there. Somebody told me, and a lot of them are empty. I believe they know that a lot of expats are coming here, and that's part of the issue right there. Is when they see expats coming in, they want to get that more of that money. But some people are just walking away because they don't want to pay the price. Because there are people in there that are renting them still. Actually, one of them was going for $200 a month, and it was a friend of mine. I believe that's rented. I'm not sure. Let's see. Michael L says Amex Green 3 times MR on transit worldwide, which includes grab rides. That's good to know. Lynn says, thanks, Sinfuls. Hot during the afternoon. Our weather here in the Philippines is crazy, but it's okay. It's natural. LOL. Sinful says New York next week, then back here to Utah, then back to Oregon. Then I go to Taiwan, then Philippines. LOL. Let's see. Klepto New York City says Amazon goes to Iloilo, but it takes a while. LOL. Yes, Amazon is in the Philippines, by the way, for you guys that don't know. It's just that they don't sell you small things. You have to order like a certain amount. I think it's close to $50. If you order like $50 worth of stuff, they'll ship it here, okay? Sinfuls just says right here, at least Amazon drivers deliver for free for $49 or more for free. Yeah. So you guys, if you're looking for stuff from Amazon, $49 or more, okay? So Amazon might still be worth it here in the United States, I mean in the Philippines rather. I actually think that it is. But, Lazada, I love Lazada. I got to tell you. Raider Reborn says, have you thought about taking a mistress? I don't think my girlfriend would appreciate that, but, no. Sinfuls, Amazon delivers to me quickly, usually within a week or so. 3 times is nice, as Just the Bill says, 3 times is nice, but the $10-$20 credit for MX Gold and Plat will go to waste with Grab. So, let's see, we got up to about 65 people, 23 thumbs up, guys, so hit that thumbs up. Let's pop some more questions on here. Yeah, this week, guys, we should be back more to normal as far as getting videos out. In fact, tomorrow I'm going to try to put one on, and I'm going to try to get one up as much as I can. Hopefully we're going to be back to like 5 to 7 days a week now that I'm back to normal here, because this has been taking up a lot of my time, the stuff that I've been going for the past 6 months. So I'm still working on my health issues, but that I won't say that my back is getting better, but some of my other issues seemed to have gotten a little bit better. So, but let's get some more questions up here, guys. Let's see, we're about 14 minutes in. Like I said, 64 people, 27 thumbs up. Thanks, guys. But to get back to the Amazon thing, yeah, look into Lazada and Shopee, guys. RLV says PH September inflation 6.1%. Yeah, the inflation. Actually, yeah, we wanted to talk about the inflation here. Inflation is killing us over here recently. I noticed that prices are getting up there, and people that were thinking that coming over here on $1,000 or $800 a month still, which is insane, guys. It's crazy because you have insurance over here and you need to buy insurance over here. Don't even think of it. You can't live on less than 1,000. Not being a Westerner, you just won't be used to living like that. It's not good living. $1,500 a month. It's not good living either. I don't think. You know what I mean? Because inflation's just popping up so fast. I think you need 2 to 3,000 still, and you know, even then, I still think you're low. A lot of guys say, "Well, gee, Steve, I'm living on this 2,000 a month." But most of these guys are single too. They don't have a girlfriend. The girlfriend doesn't have kids, stuff like that. You know, or they have a girlfriend who works or whatever. But you know, it is possible, but it's just not as good. Heard they're Just the Bill says heard they're getting Walmart in Manila. I heard that also. I haven't seen anything about it yet though. I did hear about that they were going to build one. I wonder if they'll deliver. Hopefully they'll come to other cities as well. I hope so. I'd love to see Walmart over here, Philippine Walmart with American goods though. I do think Walmart would be very welcome in the Philippines as far as expats go. I mean, I know I would be all over that. Leonard Marlin says, I moved back to the States for the next few months to keep up with my nursing skills. Got to say I never owned an e-bike, but having great time riding this one back and forth to work. E-bikes are wonderful. You know, I heard the e-bikes are getting very, very popular over in some of the countries over in Europe. Actually, they're outselling regular bikes. I think it was in Norway or something like that. If I could be wrong, though. Michael L. says, it's okay as long as the wife and girlfriend approves. However, your budget requirements go up. Raider Reborn. David Bond has control of the Expat Trash channel. He tipped his hand on his Telegraph channel. Okay. That's actually a good channel, Raider Reborn. I actually like that channel. You guys might have seen some of my comments on there. I actually enjoy that channel. It's too bad they've been taken down a few times. At least once or twice, I think. I know Sick Grandpa went after them, and he should be the one that's taken down, actually. You know, that's my thoughts on that. Frank says, how long it was your lease for $80? It's not a lease anymore. I just let it go month to month, you know. Klepto of New York City. Who needs Walmart? We have Walmart. Yeah, Walmart doesn't even come close to Walmart. Let's face it. James Wright, Bank of the Philippines intervene at 57 PHP to US dollars. They probably are. They're getting worried. I think that's going to hit 60, and that's you know that's a real issue because I think as far as loans, the Philippines is number 5. I just read yesterday. I think it was number 5 for the most loans recently from the World Bank. That's getting scary. You know, I think that people are starting to worry about that, about the peso. Just like the dollar. The dollar's not doing much better, but I think that the peso is actually doing worse. But we'll see how that plays out. James Wright, Bank of the Philippines. Let's see. Michael L. says, just a bill, correct. And Philippine banks have almost no rewards on their credit cards. No, most of them do not. Faye is on here. Faye Peter Ellison. Faye's a good friend of mine. Good evening, Steve. Watching from Oriental Mindoro. How you doing, Faye? Good to see you on here tonight. Let's see. But yeah, we had a great party today, guys. We just put together a quick party. We had a few of the expats come around here. And next time, for you guys that didn't come to this one, maybe guys that live around here anyway, I'm talking about, we'll try to get some more people to come next time. We try to switch it up because we can't have 60 or 80 people here, so we just invite a few people each time, and we try to switch it up because we just don't have enough seating over here. Faye Allison says, doing good as always. Thanks, Steve. Good to see you, Faye. Let's see, you guys, we're up to 70 and 31 thumbs up. Thanks, guys. We're about almost 20 minutes in, 19 minutes in. Let's get some more questions up here, guys. Yeah, like this week, I'm going to work on a lot of different things, ideas that I've had ringing around my head, and some of them have a lot of research going into it. So I've been researching, like I said, about personality types that would probably do well over here and other ones that won't. I'm going to be talking specifically about empathic type personalities, which is only 1 to 2% of the population, but I think those are the ones that get ripped off the most over here by people that are poor, and also by some of the women over here, that are scammers and stuff like that. Simple says, let's hit the thumbs up, folks. And Aurel Gui says, which city you live in? Tracy Martinez, man. Big Dave says, why do you need $3,000 if you're paying $80 a month rent? Just wondering what's going to cost much. A lot of guys come over here. That's a good question, Big Dave, actually. For me, and I don't say 3K, I say 2 to 3K, but I says you should be closer to 3K to live well, so you can travel and go out and do things. If you're going to live on 2K over here, I'm going to tell you, your money goes fast, especially if you don't have your own vehicle, because you're using it for transportation and stuff. And you really don't need a vehicle over here, but your money just kind of goes fast for dinners, because a lot of us eat at Western restaurants, and it's just as expensive over here as it is back home. That's part of it. There's a lot of reasons, you know. I think over here we tend to go out more and travel more. And if you're retired, you want to live well. And you don't forget, back home in the States also, if you're working, you're spending less because you're at work a good part of the day. Over here, you're off 24 hours a day. Unless you're doing an at-home job or something like that. But most people are off and they want to spend that time doing something. Yeah, otherwise you get bored out of your mind over here. So we go to malls, we do stuff like that. We got Michael Onstad on board. That's our insurance guy, guys. If you guys are looking for him, he's on Messenger. Michael Onstad is he's our insurance guy, but he sells all different types of insurance now, and he come out with a new plan just recently. And it's one of the cheaper plans, one of the Filipino plans, but it's now getting bent more towards helping expats over here too. And you guys may want to look into that and talk to Michael. You can look him up on Messenger, okay? So any of you guys that are looking for good insurance, contact Michael on Messenger, and he'll help you with all that. Lynn says everything went up. Tips if you have wide backyard plant vegetables. Yes. But it's hard growing stuff over here, and the soil in some sections is good, in some places it's rotten. C.D. Morrissey, hi Steve, I'm in contact with Mary about my SRV. She's quite nice and helpful, and I'll be in Davao City 424. There we go. Yeah, you can't beat Mary Rose as far as helping people here, guys. If you're looking for somebody to do your SRV retirement visa, that's the way to go. If you need help with that, also contact me at steven5975@yahoo.com, and I'll help you with that. Leonard Marlin says, we spend $2,500 a month because we like to travel. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. It's remember, a lot of guys come over here and they're living on $1,500 a month, and I know people that live over here on $1,500 a month, and they don't hang around with the group as much because I don't think they have a lot of money. They kind of stay on their own and do their own thing. Because I notice when you're around with a group, it gets sometimes it's a little bit more expensive because you're going out and you're doing things together. You just do, I don't know, you just travel more and do things and hang out with friends more. And I think as a retiree, I think we want to hang around with our friends more. Some people want to be alone. We have expats that like to be alone too. Tom Johnson says, inflation is rough on the Filipinos. Wages always lag inflation. The Filipinos are taking a big hit, guys. For you guys that don't know that, they're looking for money. It seems like a lot more. I notice people asking me if I got any jobs I can give them, and I try to give them jobs, doing different things around the house. Sometimes, anything, and I like to help them out just to see what I can do. Just the bill says, Big Dave, bar fines will run you $60 to $120 per night. Okay. Lynn says, travel is included in my life too. That's what I'm saying. You want to have travel included. If you guys that don't travel, you can get away a lot cheaper, probably around the 2,000 mark. Not so crazy John says, I agree, referencing empathy being vulnerable. The key is understanding yourself in order to manage the impact of the needy. I think, I'm kind of an empathic personality myself, and I notice that I have to watch myself over here a lot more, and it can be kind of tough sometimes, and I'm going to get into that a lot more and talk about the empathic personality and why empathics really get screwed over here. You don't have to be an empathic personality, but have a personality that has empathy in it, and there's a lot of personalities like that too. Not so crazy John says, hydroponics is the go. Hydroponics is actually kind of cool. I've been watching some things on that lately. It's kind of a cool thing. Actually, somebody around here is growing something in water. I noticed just the other day. I think it was today I saw it. In a bucket of water, they have a bunch of stuff living in there. plants. C.D. Morrissey, I've already contacted Michael O, and I'm fully briefed on the health plans. Yeah, Michael's good. If you guys need to contact him, definitely contact him. Billy says, is there such a thing as a trustworthy host family for newbies visiting for several weeks that could cater to the visitor's entrance? You know what? I would say yes. There's many trustworthy families, Filipino families, but just always have your eyes wide open, because I notice when people hang out with these families, and we've had a couple of guys that came in the past 2 weeks, okay, and they've been with families, Airbnb people, over here, host families, I'll say, and excuse me. After a while, I noticed that they were commenting about how they were getting taken advantage of and stuff. So just be careful. I mean, I think everybody's different, but just be careful. You know, when you're in a third world country, expect third world problems, and that's part of it. Is people are, you know, we just talked about inflation. Inflation's killing these people over here. So, you know, that's what they're, that's part of the problem over here. The inflation's killing these people, and they're looking for money. You know, and you can't blame them for wanting more money. They need that money. Michael says wages lag inflation everywhere. Definitely. Sinful says going to Texas Roadhouse. LOL. Hey, have a good time. Sinful. It's good to see you on here tonight. We weren't on here last week. Let's see, we're up to about 85 people, 41 thumbs up. That's good. I think after this coming week, we'll start getting some more people back. It's just that, like I said, I've had a lot of things going on. So this week here, I'm going to try to play catch up. Got to have money. Let's see, Leonard says, got to have money going into your emergency fund every month to be safe. $3,000 a month allows that to happen. Exactly. See, Leonard just picked up on one of the things that I covered way back, and I haven't done that. That video's old now. And also you have to cover medical costs too in the future, because when you hit your 70s. So for you guys that are coming over here and you're in your 50s or early 60s, you want to put money for your 70s away. That's why the $2,000 to $3,000 is a good budget, because you can take part of that, put it away for medical, and put it away for in your 70s when your medical goes up. But you should always be adding to your medical emergency fund. Even if you have insurance, you should have a medical emergency fund or emergency fund. God forbid something happens, your house floods, or something happens, or a typhoon comes and destroys your home. Things happen, so be ready for it. Because over here, you're kind of on your own. If there's an emergency that goes on at home, back in the States, and you need to go back, there's money. Freedom Choices, stay safe, guys. I just broke my foot living in Davao City. Just a simple accident. Grateful to live in Davao City with all the medical around me. John Fetchko says, hi from the Space Coast. There we go. Cocoa Beach, I would say, probably, right? I used to go to the submarine basin right near there. The Trident submarine basin. Pooping while standing again. Well, rent just went up 38% for renewal. Charlotte, North Carolina, Philippines, here I come. I know back home, back in Boston, man, you cannot touch a place for under $1,000 barely. It's very difficult to touch any place, not even a studio for less than $1,000. Studios are going for like $1,500, $1,600, $1,700, $1,800 around the Boston area or more. Probably more like $2,200. You can get them in some towns still, but they're rare and they're hard to find. W says, I watch your videos now and then. Didn't like the last one. It came across that you prefer a cave woman. No. I don't think so. Someone who is undereducated and subservient. I think you kind of watched. You must not watch my video, because I don't talk about that at all. I talk about that you're better off with an educated woman. If you go back to my videos, we talk about dating people like doctors and people like that. I don't think I come across in any of my videos as looking for undereducated and subservient. If you ask any of my subscribers, they'll tell you the same thing. And I don't think that any of my last videos talked about that I prefer a cave woman. Not at all. I'm not sure which one you watched that you're saying that, but my last few videos haven't been about anything like that. Sinful says, pooping while standing, that is a significant increase. Yes, it is. Sinful also says, I am empathic too, to a point. I am not soft enough. I think we all have some kind of empathy, but the empathic personality, there's only 1 to 2% of the people that have that. I think everybody has a little bit of empathy, and I think that empathy is what kind of screws people up in the Philippines, because we feel bad for some of the people over here, you know. Let's see, Miss Pee Wee Barnes says, "Good evening, Steve. It's something," and it says it's a something in Iloilo. I'm not sure because your name is so long, Pee Wee, it cuts off some of your thing, because I'm not sure why, but anybody that has a super long name, it cuts off your thing. Lynn says, it says, "Message retracted. Sinful Steve, I meant going there as one of our outs." Okay. Sinful says, "In regards to my Texas Roadhouse," okay. Michael Onset says, "Nothing like a good cave woman." Yeah, there we go, right? Let's see. Leonard Marlin says, "Freedom, I live on Samal Island and take a boat ride to Davao once a month to see my doctor." And you're right, hospitals and doctors are fantastic. Let's see. Dickie Spass says, "Hello, Steve, Sinfuls, and everyone else. How you doing, Dickie? It's good to see you on here, man. It's always good to see you on here. We don't see you as much as we used to." Michael L. says, "Steve, he must be confusing you with the Doomer crowd that wants young provincial girls." I know, that's Michael. I mean, anybody that's watched my stuff knows that I've never, ever talked like that, because even, the girl I'm currently with right now, she works, Big Dave says, "Rent is crazy in New Jersey. Fortunately, I own my own home." Sinful says, "Hey, Dickie. Klepto of New York City. Steve, your videos are very fair and never one-sided. It is why so many people enjoy watching your content." Thanks, Klepto. I appreciate that, man. Let's see. Yeah, we don't try to... I always try to give both sides to make it fair. I tell both sides almost all the time. I try to do the Paul Harvey version, CD Morrissey, "I've waited until 4/24 to come over. I'll have a lot of savings and big monthly income. I'm seeing I've gone overboard on my financial preps. I should have come a few years ago." You know something? You can never go overboard on your financial preps, because I'll tell you something. I actually padded it like about 10 or 20%, and I was glad that I did pad it, because later on there was things over here that I forgot about. And it wasn't very much I forgot about, but there was things also I like to do. After I got everything all set up in my house, I wanted to go on a trip, so I had that money to do that, Let me see. Not So Crazy John, "I went to Texas Roadhouse here in OZ. The burger was about 2 days calories. LOL." Let's see. Freedom Choice, "Exactly, Leonard. The United Davao Specialist was amazing, but you have to have an emergency fund. They don't miss you. Ha ha ha." Let's see. Intrepid 456, "If you can't afford to get by in the USA, it means you'd be a burden on another country just as your own." I don't know if that's totally true, because I think we have people that are suffering in the Boston area that are on $3,000 a month. You suffer in Boston on $3,000 a month, but over here you could probably do pretty well over here. Actually, you will do pretty well over here. 3,000, even 2,500 or 2,000, you can live over here fairly well. You will squeak by a pretty decent existence, but in Boston or Lawrence or Chelmsford or Lowell or any of those other towns around Boston, you would suffer. Now, I can't speak for other places. I'm sure there's places you can still live, like Buffalo, places like that. Also in Charleston, South Carolina, you can still get rentals there for $700 in a fairly decent section, I might add. Intrepid 456, "If you can't afford to get by in USA means..." Let's see, we already read that one. John Bergeron said, "I live in Quezon City. I received $2,200 a month and tried to live on $1,900, and it seems to work out." Quezon City's, I was up there. I used to go up there a lot, and I like Quezon City. I like the malls there, but I don't like the housing there. I just didn't like the area. I wasn't really impressed by it. I found it kind of dingy and dirty, except for the malls. But the housing there, I just didn't like it. I wasn't really impressed, and I rode through a lot of the neighborhoods up there looking around, and I just don't find it really nice. It needs a lot of bringing it up to speed, because I think it's kind of it's like a city that's been left behind. Intrepid 456 says, 3,000 a month will afford a good expat life in the PI. Yes, it will. That's why I say 2 to 3,000 is where you should be at, because at least you can put aside some. And if you're on the 2,000 budget, you probably won't be traveling as much because you're going to be saving for your 70s, and also you're going to be buying insurance, but it'll still give you a good life. 3,000, you're more up to speed. If you're above 3,000, you're living like a king, you know. Leonard Marlin says, thinking about buying a drone. Anyone have one, and is it worth the cost? Think for my kids for Christmas. You know something, Leonard? I would buy a cheap one over an expensive one. I wouldn't buy it like one of those expensive drones that they have out there for like $600, $700, or $1,000 for kids. I would buy a cheap one and have them practice with that before you buy them a better one. That's my advice. Okay, get a cheap one with a camera. They're out there. Michael L says, has anyone noticed it is hard to order a poached egg in the Philippines? Even in Osai, they seem to be runny yolks. I'm not a big poached egg fan myself, but yeah, I never heard of people talking about poached eggs here. Now that you mention it, I like a poached egg on toast with a lot of salt, a little bit of salt and pepper on it. Retiring cobbler, how do you marry a Filipino if they can't get divorced? You get it annulled. They do annulments over here. You can get them in as quick as 6 months. You pay about $4,000 for them, but you can do it. And W says, it's all good. Still watching you. You're right about rentals on the upper end of around Boston. $2,000 at a minimum. Yes, that's about right. Let's see. Michael L says, Pasai. Okay. I was like, Osai. What's Osai? I never heard of that. Let's see. Sinful says, retiring caller, you can't. That is the problem. Why they are looking to. That's the problem. Why they are looking to approve divorce. They're looking to approve divorces here now, which some expats are actually getting worried that's going to change this country into like a more Western country. And I don't believe that to be true. I think divorce should be allowed here. I think it kind of wrecks the vibe around here, because a lot of the women that you run into, they're all still married because they can't afford to go through a divorce. And I think if you could get a divorce over here for 500 or 1,000, people would be more likely to kind of move on and get remarried or whatever. I think it kind of puts a damper on things, to be honest with you. I mean, I know a lot of people disagree with me about divorce. I know a lot of the expats do. I'm not quite sure why. They feel like it's going to bring in feminism and stuff like that, or something, like it's going to wreck the Philippines. I disagree with that. They think because of the fact that if there is no divorce, they can't leave you, but they can leave you. They still do. It does. I think the rate of people leaving you over here is the same as back in the States. They just go back to their normal life. Actually, sometimes breaking up with a girl over here is worse than a divorce. Freedom Choice, there are drones at SM Mall, Echoland, Davao City, Leonard. There's drones all over the place in the Philippines. Some of the malls, I would say probably 1 in every 4 or 5 of the big malls have them. Lynn says, a retiring cobbler, annulment is the answer. It'll take 2 years before it'll be granted. That's not totally true, Lynn. There are attorneys around here that are saying within 6 months they can get it done. So it depends on where you are and what province you're in, and who your attorney is. So, and in who they know. But they can get them done in 6 months, because I've seen them get done in 6 months. We had a guy up in Manila who got one done in like 6 or 7 months. Leonard Marlin says, good advice, Steve. Thanks. Simple says, I bought a drone that cost $200 at Lazada. It's a SJ11, I think. Yeah, there's some nice drones out there for even $200 or $300 you can get that are just as good as those DJI, I think they are called, or something like that, the real expensive ones. John Bergeron says, live next to North SM in Quezon City. I've been there many times. This is actually a nice mall. City in the Grass residence, nice condos with 6 pools and gym. But you're right about regular housing. Yes, regular housing there, they're just, I don't know how many of you guys have been up to Quezon City. I actually met my first Filipina over there and was married to her, and even then it was bad, and it hasn't changed much since then. There's nothing changed except for the malls. The housing all around the malls is still the same, everything. There are some nice buildings there and nice, nice condos and stuff like that. But other than that, in the neighborhoods, the houses just kind of suck, to be honest. James Wright says, P said divorce coming to the Philippines. I tend to agree with that. I tend to agree with it. They have a new girl out called Philippine Unfiltered. And if you guys get a chance to watch this lady, she's an attractive older woman. She's very pretty. She's very smart, and she actually is very interesting too. And she's actually from the United States, and she grew. I think went to the United States when she was 5 or something like that. I believe, if I remember correctly. But she's over here in the Philippines, and Filipina Unfiltered is phenomenal. I've been watching some of her, not all of her stuff, but I've been watching some of it, and she's kind of bent towards men and women, and I think somebody like her might actually attract some women from the U.S. over here, which I'm not sure if it was good or bad, but I do think Filipina Unfiltered offers expats a new view on the Philippines through a woman's eyes, and from a Filipina's eyes, an American Filipina actually. So check it out, guys, if you get a chance. I don't know the woman personally, but I'll just say I really like her style. She has a very nice style. She kind of does like a taste of like our show a little bit, but it's just different. Just cool viewpoint. Frank says $3,621.95 a month for 100% veterans disability now. That's not bad. Let's see. Leonard Marlin says I paid $10,000 and waited 4 years, then never married her because she cheated on me. Wow, that's crazy for an annulment. Leonard, that's crazy money. It's supposed to be $4,000, but I know that once you start with some of these attorneys over here, they milk you. They milk you, and 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 it just keeps on going, never ends. And you have to kind of put your foot down with some of them. Sinful's divorce needs to be approved, but the reason needs to be for a legitimate reason, though. Abuse, long-term separation, etc., not whim divorces. Let's see. Michael L. says divorce is needed so people can move on after a bad relationship. Do you know how many paper marriages exist in the Philippines? Unfortunately, there has to be a way that these people can move on. And I think that a lot of expats, like I said, they seem to think like it's great that they can't get a divorce here. I have the opposite view on that. Lynn says, James Wright, yes, coming, still in discussion. Dickie Spaz says, LOL, can you imagine what the freedom of divorce will bring to a certain percentage of the Pinoy population? Think about that. I mean, there's so many Filipinos over here that are married over here, and some of them were living with expats, for that matter. And there seems to be like this false thing out there that, if you're with like a woman that's separated from her husband or something like that you're going to get arrested or something. If the guy is in another relationship, there's really no chance of that, pretty much. I've talked with several attorneys about that, and they says, Steve, that's a falsehood. A lot of vloggers out there put out some really bad information about that, and it can be true in some cases. I think you are better off if you can find a single woman to get one. Yes, but the chances of you finding an older single woman are pretty, I won't say slim, but most of them have been married before, or are still in a marriage, so just be careful. Leonard says, thanks, Sinfuls. And Michael L. says, marriage and divorces can be useful legal tools. Yes, they can. Especially when you have a problematic marriage. Why would you want to be stuck in that? Because it just doesn't make any sense. I know the Catholic Church is really big over here. I understand that they want to stand by the Catholic Church, but they force that upon people that aren't not Catholics too. And I don't think that part's fair. But I mean, I understand where they're coming from, and that's part of their culture here. The Catholic Church is a big part of the Philippine culture, and I respect that. Let's see. John says, my lady's annulment took 5 years. It was crazy. Some people fight back though too, but if it's something where both of them agree, you can usually get it done in 6 months. Leonard Mellon says, I let her deal with the lawyer, and I'm sure she scammed me. Yes, that's the problem. If they know that there's American involved, waiting in the wings or something like that, they scam you. The attorneys can be just as bad over here, if not worse. You need to find a decent attorney. Like I said, I have an attorney here. If you guys ever need her, you're more than welcome to get her number off me. She's up in Manila, and I will recommend her to anybody that needs her. Michael L. says, Kazon has a good PC parts shop. CB says, question, tell us your legal issue so we can all learn from it. Unfortunately, CB, I'm not. It's not something I'm privileged to talk about because it was part of the agreement. Some of it I've actually talked about in general, and I might talk about some of it in general, and I have talked about probably 99% of it in general already, and that I can talk about, but I can't tell you personally what happened because of the agreement. Okay, so Sandy Beaches MJX Bugs Pro 18 drone is what I have. 4K camera, great drone. John Fetchko says, watching YouTube 5 years, wrote, no negative comments is wrong with me. You watching YouTube 5 years, wrote, that's it. Okay. Then says, Steve, no, 2 years is legit. Mine is 2 years. Less than 2 years is speedy illegitimate. I've seen people over here get it, and it's legit. I don't, I know that they're getting them done in 6 months, and I've talked to an attorney, and she did say, and she's a legit attorney, and she told me, she goes, it depends where you are, Steve. We can get it done here in like 6 months. So, Sinful CB, let's leave Steve's personal issues out. If he wants to talk, he will, but he clearly stated that he does not want to reveal that. Yes, it's not something I really want to talk about because it's not something I can talk about because it's part of an agreement. I wish I could talk about it. We already have covered a lot of things on here in general, so people can't really kind of figure out what I'm talking about somebody else or not. But we've covered a lot of ground here on that, and I just would rather keep off of it. As you guys know, we talk about a lot of things in general, and I'm not going to come on here and divulge a lot of stuff because I don't think it's fair to other people. Lynn says, John Bergeron says, yes, it's natural. Filipina and the foreigner. Love the Philippines. Divorce is needed for certain situations for sure. John Lim says, 30 plus millions. Let's see. Leonard Marlin says, I waited 28 years to remarry. My wife has never remarried, living with her ex 20 years. Finally left him, and we married 2 years later. There are 40-year-olds out there, guys. That's the thing. There's a lot of beautiful women out there in their 30s and 40s. Some of them need annulments, and I think a lot of guys overlook those girls. And you can get an annulment with them, and their men have moved on, so they're not going to go after you like these other vloggers tell you. Because if they're living with somebody, if they have kids with somebody else, you don't have to worry. They're not going to go after you. Lynn says, Leonard Marlin, so sad to hear your Filipina is. So sad to hear your Filipina is bad fruit among good Filipinas here. Karma is just around the corner. Let's see. John Fetchko, had drone fly into ocean. Get practice one first. John Bergeron says, Lynn says, I'm not sure it was worth it. Lynn says, I'm not sure it was worth it. Miss Pee-wee Barnes says, good night, everyone. Good night, Pee-wee. Let's see. Sandy Beaches. Let's see. What was the female blogger name again? It's Filipina Unfiltered. Okay? And she's actually, she looks like Valerie Bertinelli. She looks like an Asian Valerie Bertinelli. She's a very good-looking woman, too. She's in her 50s. I think she's single. She's a beautiful woman. She's got a really nice attitude. Just wonderful vlog. From what I've seen so far, I've seen a couple ones that it's not something I would like, but maybe some of the women, the Filipinas actually might like. So you Filipinas that watch this channel also, you might want to look up Filipina Unfiltered because it's a fantastic channel. And she's like I said, American Filipina, and I'll tell you something. I think she could be in the next Filipina P if she wanted to be because she's fantastic. I wish she would start putting out some Filipino information too, which I think she might already put out some, but I mean, I think if she brought up stuff like that, it might be catch on with more expats. But I think expats might like her that are looking to find an older Filipino women because she kind of shows that there are beautiful, sexy, 50-something-year-old Filipinas out there that have a really good attitude and that are well worth getting married to. And to see her on here, I was like, wow, that's interesting. So, we have an older Filipina out there who's decent looking, and she's got a wonderful vlog. Even though she's from the U.S., she's still a Filipina, and, she's over here in the Philippines right now touring around, and it's kind of cool watching her. So let's get some more questions on here, guys. We're up to 80 people, 58 thumbs up. Thank you, guys, and we're about 50 minutes in. Mark Schaefer says, just subscribed. I'll check her out. Yeah, Mark, I think you'll enjoy her show. I mean, all you guys, if you check her out, she's pretty cool, you know. Big Dave says, I heard annulments hard to guarantee you could pay in the and they just deny you. They do though. There are some provinces where they're really like more Catholic than others. I'll say or they have Catholic judges there or whatever, and they're older and they do not give out annulments. Sometimes it could be like a maybe 20% get through or 30% get through, and the other ones don't. Then there are some places where they let almost all of them go through. Big Dave says, I heard annulments hard to guarantee you could pay in the end. And not, yeah, we just read that one. Okay. Leonard Marlin says, does anyone else have a wonderful wife and kids crazy about TikTok? I think my wife and kids are wacky. Ha ha ha. I think almost all the people here that are Filipinos, and they're all into that TikTok scene. I have two kids that they're adopted, and they're both into that TikTok scene. You know. Let's see. Sinful says, I have a wonderful wife, but no TikTok. LOL. Yes, Pam's definitely not into TikTok. Let's see. We're up to, let's see, we're 77, 60 thumbs up. Thanks, guys. Let's get some more questions on here. We can have some more conversation. I'm going to try to go out to maybe another 45 minutes, guys, if we can keep this going. But we need more questions on here, more talk. So there we go. Michael L says, do not grok TikTok. I can't stand that TikTok stuff. I don't watch any of it. I just don't like it. I like some of the YouTube stuff material that's coming out. There's a lot of YouTube stuff. Facebook, not so much. I'm not really into Facebook that much. I actually cannot stand Facebook. A lot of guys over here that I find over here shut off their Facebook or shut it down when they get over here. But it's the way that people talk amongst each other too. Sinful says, I do YouTube only. Yes, Sinful does not. He's another one that does not do Facebook. I do Facebook, and I find it takes up too much of my time sometimes. Sinful says, rest of the social media can run. I kind of feel the same way. I kind of keep Facebook open because of Messenger. James Wright says, not on Facebook. There's a lot of people in our group that don't do it. It's hard to get in touch with them sometimes. Mark Schaefer, I don't like China's involvement in TikTok. I agree with you on that, Mark. That's one of the things that I don't like about TikTok. I think it wastes your brain. You know, I think a lot of the kids that are getting involved in that, when I see them, they're just kind of, there's nothing, the personality kind of rots away. There's no personality there because they're so involved with their phones and stuff. The personality lacks. They don't have a chance to grow their personality, I'll say. You know, doing TikTok all day does not make your personality grow. Freedom Choice says, Steve, do you think the Filipina are getting more westernized, e.g. the female movement in the West? Yes. My last video was on that. If you check that out, check out my last video. It was about that. You know. See, Sinful says, Mark Schaefer, they own it. LOL. Filipina and the foreigner, I appreciate your info you put out. Hate Facebook too. Thanks, man. Lynn says, at D, do feel her to get jealous. Michael Onstad says, Facebook is dominant in the Philippines. Facebook is used over here as a phone service, guys. For you guys that don't know, back in the States, most Filipinos will put data on their phone so they can make phone calls on Messenger. Okay, they use Facebook as their phone. They rarely use phones over here. They use Facebook to talk. I would say about 80% of the talk over here, conversations, are done on Messenger and not on the phone. Phone is rarely used over here. It's all data. You know, they buy data and they use that on their phone. That's the biggest way people talk over here. They use Wi-Fi to talk. And, you know, sometimes you don't even have to buy data because you're using your Wi-Fi. You can go into McDonald's. You can go to these different places and talk and chat. But that's the way a lot of people don't know that live back in the States, that Facebook is so dominant over here because of that. It's more dominant over here than in the States, I would say. Sinful says, social media will rot your brain. Michael L says, Steve, you like history, especially World War II. Have you seen the Yarn Hub channel. I have not. But Michael, there is a lot of new stuff on Netflix this month that I just checked out, and I'm going to have to start watching some of those. Leonard Marlin says, yes, my wife is so jealous. Sometimes I have to keep telling her I waited 28 years to marry her. Why would I want anyone else? Jealousy is a big thing over here, Marlin. You know, Leonard, Leonard rather. It's a thing I did a video about actually was about jealousy, because I think Filipinos have this big jealousy issue, and I'm lucky now that the girl I'm seeing now is not jealous. I love, like, this new girl that I've met is phenomenal. I mean, and I'll tell you, I'm very impressed with the way she is. She's a really good woman, and I'm kind of happy with the way things are going. Michael L says, I don't use Facebook except for Messenger. Exactly. That's the way I mean, I use Facebook to post a few things now and then. Some people say I shouldn't be posting because of the fact that I'm out there, and a lot of people want to try to get at you or pick at you when you post something, and then they know all your information. I kind of tend to disagree with it, and sometimes I do agree with it. But I mean, the small stuff I put up there, sometimes people will pick out little scrubs of information on what's in the background or something like that, or wedding rings and stuff like that. It's crazy stuff. Sinful says, my wife not jealous. I get regular massages. I asked her once, hey, you can do the massage. She like no, have the girls do it. Ha. See, sometimes it pays off to have a girl that that will give you a nice massage. My girlfriend is actually she gives massages too. She's phenomenal. Michael L says Globe Zero rates Facebook except for the pictures. Leonard Marlin says I wouldn't even use Magic Jack app if more American business would use Messenger. I like Magic app. I actually use it a lot to make my phone calls back in the U.S. And it's good. John Bergeron says TikTok is not the same. Let me see. I'm getting. In China, it's not as crazy. They are trying to demoralize other countries. It looks like it says demoralize. I think he says. WD 007 says, hi Steve, hope the new girl is a keeper. Actually, yes. she's a real nice girl, and I'm really happy with that. So I can't say anything better than that. I mean, I've done a little dating since I've been single, and I'll tell you, I'm really happy with what's going on right now. And we had like a small group gathering today, and she got along with all the other girls that are in the group, in our expat group here, and I was really, really happy to see that, because that makes a big difference for me. That's something that I really want in a woman, that she gets along with all my friends, and I have friends that are girls too. So, and she's okay with that, which is what I like. Leonard says, happy for you, Steve. Thanks, guys. I mean, I couldn't say anything more about it, because she's just a wonderful person, and someday I'll show her on here, and you guys will get to see her. Maybe I'll have her on here talking sometime. Sinful says, John Bergeron, people don't realize that the plan behind all this is to dumb down other societies. There's a reason the woke agenda is so prevalent in the U.S. The U.S. has fallen so far in STEM. I agree. That's true, Sinfuls. I agree with that 100%. I think it's just to dumb down people and make them stupid. I mean, and the more people fall for that, I think in the Philippines that's really sad, because the IQ levels, because of the system here and everything, are really low in the Philippines. They're like 82, 81.67 or something like that, I think it is. In the United States, I think the average is like about 100. I think it's actually might even be dropping a little bit. Filipina and the foreigner. I use TextMe for Arelo for phone. Matt T says, do you think that there are less or more jealousy issues with the older women? I would say that there, and I've ran into this myself, that there are some jealous women out there, and I'm lucky that my girlfriend's not jealous at all. It's not at all. She, and I really am thankful for that, because it gives you a certain freedom that you can be friends with everybody. And I'm thankful for that, because, guys have friends that are women too, and when you have a jealous girlfriend, it's kind of difficult to have a friendship with a girl, and I'm thankful for that, that I have a girl that's not jealous. Michael L says, congratulations, Stephen. Thanks, Michael. Lynn says, throw in the trash bin a Filipina if paranoid about of being jealous. LOL, ha ha ha, just kidding. Lynn, I tend to agree with you on that because jealousy is a deal breaker for me. I don't like a jealous Filipina. I won't deal with it. And the Filipinos over here that are jealous, if you have kids or something like that, they're even jealous of the kids. They're jealous of people in your life. It could even be a waitress that you know for 5 years or something like that. It could be just another woman that you know, and you're friendly with. They get jealous about nothing sometimes over here. I think more so than the U.S. 10 times more so. I'm not sure what it is with Filipinas and jealousy. I think it's part of the culture. I guess it is. I don't know. I just know that it's really bad over here. I think almost all expats over here would probably agree with me on that. That Filipinos are way more jealous than any other culture. Jealousy is a big issue. Leonard says, "Is What's Up better than the Magic Jack? Magic cost me $49 a year." I don't use WhatsApp, Leonard. I've never used it. I don't even know really. I know what it is, and everybody always asks me if I have WhatsApp, and it's like I don't. I just use Magic Jack, and I don't want to sign up for WhatsApp to see anything about it because every time I sign up for something, it just means something else I got to check on. So I keep my Magic Jack, and if anybody wants to call me, by the way, if you ever need to call me, Steven5975 at yahoo.com, you can ask me for my phone number, and I'll give it to you, and you can call me. But I don't have a Magic app, and don't want one either, It's hard enough having people call me on Messenger, too. Some days here, I'll get 20 calls, and some days I'll get none, Let's see, Michael L. says, "No one can accuse me of falling in STEM." Okay. Let's see. John Sarkis, "How did you settle on Tracy Martinez? What's your opinion of Baguio?" Tracy Martinez was where my ex-girlfriend lived, and I came here, and I still swear by it even to this day. It wasn't because she was here. It was because, it's just a place I liked. I really honestly liked the place. It's just a beautiful place. It has a lot of things to offer here, So I like the public transportation here. I like the stores here. I like the fact that we're near malls. I like the fact that we're near Manila. It's the transportation that really took me here and really attracted me the most and keeps me here. And when I tell other people about that come here, they like the transportation. I can go to Baltimore. I can catch a bus to Manila. I can catch a shuttle to other malls or other cities or towns or whatever, other provinces also. And it's easy transportation and cheap. And there's plenty of tricycles around here, and they also have Grab here too, by the way. RLV says, "Be very careful when using free PH public Wi-Fi, especially in malls. Just use it for browsing." I'm not so sure about the mall thing. I think most of that's pretty safe. Yeah, it's true that they can hack it or something like that, but I don't think that, like SM malls, I wouldn't worry about it too much in SM. Michael L. "Less jealousy issues with older women. Older women gave more experience, therefore less reason to be jealous." Michael, I agree with you, but they're over here. Even some of the older women are tend to be jealous, and I've ran into that over here a little bit too. And don't think that they're not, because I think that's an issue, that's a cultural issue, and some of the ones that I've ran in here and some of my friends will say the same, that they're jealous also. So we have a lot of expats here that date, and they date some of the older women too, and they'll tell you that they're probably a little bit less jealous, but they are jealous, and it's probably a lot higher than in the U.S. by a lot more. Dickie Spaz says, "Spot on, Sinful." Sinful says, "John Sarkis, Baguio is nice. Just got more busy now that the NLEX is direct there." Actually, I'm going to be in Baguio next month, guys, for probably about 3 days. I'm going to be going up there to check it out. RLV says, "Baguio is getting polluted, especially the air." I heard that. Somebody else told me that too. John Sarkis says, "Thanks, Sinful." Sinful says, "RLV, that's sad to hear." Lynn says, "How do you deal if you're Filipina?" Says, "Babe, look at that girl. She has a good butt. What would be your answer?" I'd say, you think so? I mean, keep it on them, because I think it's a setup sometimes. You know what I'm saying, Lynn? I just feel like it's a setup, and some of the girls do set you up like that, let's face it. And Lynn says, ah ha ha. Sinful says, Lynn says, oh, sorry, didn't notice. Yeah, there we go. Just say that, right? Filipino and the foreigner says, any VPNs anyone know that work for everything? Has anyone used the VPN router? I use Tunnel Bear because they have a free version of it, and I don't use it often enough, and I never use up all the free VPN because I just use it to sign on to things and look at something and then get off it. You know what I mean? Really quick. I don't use it for my banks because I just don't. I use my my home Wi-Fi to do that, and I feel pretty safe on my home Wi-Fi. Actually, Converge was out nationwide today. For you guys that don't know, that you guys have Wi-Fi here. Converge was down for a good chunk of the day today. The whole country. Michael L says, use a VPN with any Wi-Fi. There's something called Pineapple, which can emulate a Wi-Fi point. Lynn says, at Sinfuls, you're blind. Sinful says, at Philippine and the foreigner, I use ExpressVPN, works very well with many location selections. Tunnel Bear is like that too. Tunnel Bear is actually kind of cool because it shows a map and you just select which one you want to do, and then the bear tunnels to that place and pops his head up in that area. I kind of like it. I kind of like the way it's kind of a fun setup. It's just cool, and like I said, it's free. But if you pay for it, you can get more advanced VPN, more time on there and stuff. Big Dave says, Lynn says, I say what, but LOL. Wendell D says, if I don't need surgery, I'm hoping to be there in February. My PSA is 5.0. Okay. Let's see. Well, hopefully you won't need surgery, Wendell. Take some what's that stuff there? Saw palmetto, Wendell. It helps your prostate. It actually helped me before, so I know about that. Sinful says, Lynn says, nope, just pleading the fifth. Ha ha ha. RLV says, Sinful, yes, I know, cause have a property there, and it's very sad. Lynn says, wow, good answer, Craig. LOL. Michael L says, do you think higher educated women are less jealous, like doctors, programmers, and pharmacists? Michael, I've been around a lot of people up in Manila that were higher educated, I'll say. And I find that Filipinos are kind of a different bird when it comes to that. I think that they're less likely to be because they're more professional. But some of the people that I've seen here, even though they have these higher jobs and stuff like that, some of them are not always professional. But I do notice that the doctors here are really good. Programmers, I'm not so sure. Pharmacists, I think that's they're pretty much average people. I would say doctors, yes, probably less jealous. Lawyers, it depends on the lawyer. I would say I would say that they're a little less jealous, but I would say that they're higher than the U.S. people. There's just something, like I said, about the culture here. It's kind of funny. I do think that in general, you're better off with a more educated woman over here than a less educated woman because they're less jealous. Let's put it that way, okay? I think the people that come from the provinces sometimes, they hang around with these people that are really less educated. They're just have a different mentality. And I think when we come from the U.S., when we see that, it's like dealing with a child sometimes with the jealousy stuff. It really is. And when you come over here, you'll see a lot of issues with jealousy. I think everybody that's an expat would agree with me on that. Leonard Marlin says, I wish my wife wasn't so jealous. We talk on Messenger, and when we say goodbye, 5 minutes later, she's calling me to see if I'm talking to another woman like I have time crazy. It's funny because they'll even check you. Some of the girls over here, if you're talking to them online, a lot of guys tell me this, that if they see you on Messenger, how your thing shows up that you're still on, they'll start checking to see who you're talking to, if you left any messages on other people's stuff like that. It's really weird. Even if you have Facebook friends, and I have a lot of Facebook friends that are not people I'm interested in. It's just, After a while, you get to know a lot of people as being a vlogger. And I hate that when somebody's following up on everything that you do, thinking that you're doing something, when in reality, you're not, ROV says, Steve, Baguio is not as cold as before. I believe that. I believe that because of the, smog and stuff like that, probably. I heard it's not as cold as before. I've heard that already. They still do get some cold nights there, though. Sally Beth Reyes, actually, I think it was about a year ago, they had some really cold weather there. Sally Beth Reyes says, good evening. How you doing, Sally Beth? Good to see you on here. Leonard Marlin says, what's the advantages of a VPN? Never used one. Don't know why I'd need one. Something, for some people want to do it with banking, but when you do banking on a VPN, the bank picks up on it and then has to send you a code. If you're really picky about safety, the VPN helps you with that, but it does make it a little bit more difficult. I think you're pretty safe if you're using your own Wi-Fi. If you're using somebody else's Wi-Fi, then you use the VPN. Okay, that's where the VPN comes in handy. A lot of it makes like a tunnel, okay, to where whoever you're talking to, and nobody can see what you're doing in that tunnel, whatever you're sending through that tunnel. So that's the way somebody explained to me the way a VPN works. Okay, it gives you some protections. Okay, so it's like you're in that tunnel, nobody can see. So think of it that way. All right, that's the best way I can explain it. Craig Jordan says the Philippines is a passionate culture leading with their hearts. Jealousy is from the heart. Yes, I'd agree with that, Craig. That's actually a good way of putting it. When you let your heart rule you, I think you make a lot more mistakes. I, as a person, learn not to let my heart rule my feelings sometimes, because I think it messes you up a little bit. You have to use your head more. Sinful says, at Leonard Marlin, VPNs are handy. You can use them to get U.S. streaming. Yes, there are some. That's another thing also, to get back into the VPNs. And Sinful's brought up a good point here, is that some apps, like movie apps and stuff like that, you cannot watch over here. So you have to use the VPN. But there are some apps that now are checking to see if you're using a VPN, and they know that you're using a VPN somehow, and they still don't let you do it. But yes, you can. Some things you can use the VPN for, to bypass certain systems. Okay, and they won't knock you off. If there's an app that you're using and you're outside the country and they won't let you use that, or a bank that won't let you use their app because you're outside the country, that's the way you get through that system. Freedom Choice says, can you fly if your foot is broken in a moon boot? Yes, sure you could. There's people on wheelchairs and stuff like that getting on it. Sure you could. Sinful says, Wendell D. I went through the issue with prostate cancer. My prayers for you. Yeah, man, Wendell, I wish you the best, man, on that. Try saw palmetto. It helps your prostate if it's blowing up like a balloon. It helped me a long time ago. I don't have any prostate issues at all. I've been lucky. I don't have prostate cancer. I never had it. Hope I never have it. My father had it when he was in his 80s. And we chose not to operate on it because of the fact that he was so old. It just started showing itself. And the doctor says, good choice, Steve. And he didn't die from prostate cancer, because prostate cancer, if you're in your 70s, sometimes it's not worth getting operated on. I'm not sure how old you are. Filipino and the foreigner, Davao is pretty stable. Internet, do other larger cities have stability as well? For the most part, we do. Here we had Converge go down today, and it was kind of sucky that they went down, because usually they're pretty good. Sifl says, a freedom choice, yes, you can. Just if your economy, it will be a tighter fit and seating. Sinful says, at Filipina and the foreign, I am in New Valley, and my internet is great at 400 Mbps. They're supposed to upgrade my, and this is a problem I have with Converge. I'm at 300 Mbps, and they said they were going to upgrade me to 600, and they haven't done it yet. So I'm a little bit ticked off at them about that. I have to go see them this week, actually. Wendell D. at Sinfuls, I appreciate your prayers. Sinful says, you're welcome. Big Dave, do you have a lot of brownouts where you are? No, absolutely not. Nope. Very, very rarely do we have brownouts. We have had them on really, 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 really hot days, and we don't get that many here that often. But we did have brownouts where the air conditioner was kind of running funky, and then I found out it was a brownout. CD Morrissey, I'll keep my U.S. phone, which is only $15 monthly, to handle all my U.S. banking texts, business communications, and get PI phone for PI calls. Yes, it's good for sending the SMS banking texts and stuff like that. But you can also, some banks will let you not just do not do text, but also call you, and that's where Magic Jack can work. But a lot of banks will just do SMS text, which is the hard part. So if you have a bank that just does text, you will need some sort of way to get that stuff through. You can also do it through Google. One of the choices on Google, the more expensive plan that they have on there, you can get that, and that lets that stuff come through. Sinful says, at CD Morrissey, Mint Mobile. CD Morrissey says, yes, Mint, it's a good service. For Android 101, hello from Colorado, 0 degrees here this morning. Now snow in a couple of weeks. Sinful says, good to hear. I just got a new S23 Ultra, so I added Mint Mobile as ESIM to my phone while here in the U.S. Michael L. says, VPN ensures you won't get hacked by man in the middle by some guy with a hack pineapple. Hack 5 pineapple. For Android 101, VPNs, watch Naomi Brockwell's channel, Internet Security Specialist. VPNs can do important things, but security is not one of them. Let's see here. Sinful says, I plan getting rid of my Verizon, which cost me $78 a month. I like $15 better. Michael L. says, Philippine are ruled by their emotions, which can be good or bad. CD Morrissey says, message retracted. Sinful's, Amazon will know if I have my VPN on. Yes, I heard that. So then I log off and change location, then log back on and it works. Michael L. says, you can also roll your own VPN with Amazon AWS or DigitalOcean. Lynn says, good night. Good night to some, stay healthy to all. There we go. Thanks, Lynn. Sinful says, good night, Lynn. Let me see here. Leonard Marlins, I was pleased to find my Netflix account in the Philippines works here in the States for those who wonder. Yes, of course your Netflix. Actually, I believe you'll get more movies back there too. I would think, because Netflix, when you're in the U.S., you get more movies back there. Let's see. CD Morrissey says, we've been using private VPN for several years, and it's very good. $2 monthly on a year contract. That's not bad. Sinful says, if prostate cancer is aggressive, you need to deal with it. Yes. I had a co-worker who had it not knowing it. He has cancer through his whole body, so don't ignore. Yeah, but most of the times when you get prostate cancer, some of the doctors will tell the people that are in their like 70s or 80s, don't even worry about it, because you're probably going to... I agree if it's aggressive, but most of the time it's not aggressive. CD Morrissey says, a good VPN along with good malware and virus software is very secure. But to get back on the prostate cancer sinfuls, if you're in your 50s, you should definitely have it dealt with. If you're older, it doesn't matter as much. Let's see. Michael L. says, if I had cancer, I would hit it with surgery and chemo and radiation. John Bergeron says, I have Sky here, and it's out 3 or 4 times a day. There are some pretty crappy internet services out there, you know. I'm not sure about that particular one. I'm not familiar with Sky. Let's see, Mike Dixon says, Mint Mobile work over there? I've never dealt with that. Maybe one of the people on here can answer that for you, Mike. Does anybody out there have Mint Mobile? Just try to answer that question from Mike Dixon here. Does it work over here really well? Leonard Mullins says, how to get around brownouts? We use a generator, and I'm having solar panels put in this month. You know something, Leonard? I never thought about that. I wonder if the solar panels would pick up the brownout energy to make it so that it's full energy. That's a good question. I don't know that much about electrical, but I mean, I wonder if that would solve, solar panels would solve the brownout issues. Good question. You know, that might be something worth looking into. I don't know if a generator would certainly fix it too. Simple says, at Michael, oh yes, I had surgery. I just had my 4th surgery couple weeks ago. That's why I'm here in the U.S. For Android 101, FYI, I use PSI phone, free VPN out of Canada, zero problems. I also have zero issues using my Skype number. Michael L., I would never use a free VPN. If it is free, your data is the product. John Fetchko says, was not able to access credit union in Philippines online. Bank worked fine. I have a credit union back in the States, and actually I don't have any problem with my credit union. I know that they can't send me the SMS, but they do send me an email. So that's good. Simple says at Michael L. Bingo. See, Ross Trade, New England accent, Boston. Yes, 20 miles outside of Boston. I lived in Lawrence, near Lowell. Let's see. Russell Swat says, if I just bring my Verizon phone to the Philippines, does my U.S. number work on Wi-Fi? I don't want to switch to any international plan. I don't think it will. I'm not sure if it would work because we have Wi-Fi calling on my phone. Somebody had told me that if you use Wi-Fi calling in the U.S., I think it would ring you over there maybe. I'm not sure. That's a good question, though. I did hear that when people went back home, that their smartphone would not work back home on Wi-Fi calling. Okay, so I'm not sure if it would work on U.S. phones or not, but I know with the Filipino phones, from what I've heard, it does not work. So, because I switched mine to Wi-Fi calling because here we have no signal, so it calls me on the Wi-Fi. Okay, so I know here it works, but I'm not sure if in the U.S. it would work. I doubt it would, because it must pick up that you're outside the country. Dickie Spaz says annual prostate exams with PSA blood test is a good habit to learn. I only go there for the finger in my butt. Okay. Sinfuls. Yes, true, Steve. Mine was aggressive at 54. I wanted my PI dream. LOL. Yeah, I mean, it really depends on that. A lot of people don't have aggressive. Most people do not have the aggressive type. The majority of the time. My father's was not aggressive at all. Hector Gubat says Phil Health attacked with ransomware. Personal data of clients published on Telegram. Interesting. I didn't hear that. Let's see. Sinful says Dickie Spaz. LOL. If you like the finger, you would like the biopsy probe. Ouch. Let's see. Dickie Spaz says every male on my dad's side of the family had prostate cancer, so for me it's not a matter of if but when. Early detection is a lifesaver. Michael L says Mint doesn't have international roaming outside of Canada and Mexico. It's worthless outside NA. Let's see. Get Google Fi instead. Yeah, Google Fi works. I've heard that of many people that it works great for the SMS. Dickie Spaz says, no thanks, Sinfuls. Mike Dixon says, thank you, Michael L. Anders says, Swedes and Philippines for Trump. Okay. Let's see. Sinful says, Wi-Fi calling still incurs charges for Verizon. Okay. Leonard Marlin says, my grandfather's prostate cancer was very slow, and he was in his 80s, lived to be 96, never treated. I want to get back to, I was just thinking of this. I think if you put your phone on a VPN in the Philippines, maybe you could use Smart. Okay, now I've never tried that, but I was just thinking of that just now, because, for some reason I think it might work. Now, if you had your phone in the United States and you put the VPN on, like, let's say in St. Louis or something like that, I would think that you'd be able to use your Wi-Fi calling, but I'm not actually sure. I would think that might work. It's a good question, certainly. It might be worth for somebody to try when you go home or whatever. Try that. Leonard Mullen, my grandfather's prostate cancer was very slow, and he was in his 80s, lived to be 96, never treated. That's what I'm saying. You can live a long time. James Wright, heard a lot of good about Magellan T-Mobile. Yeah, Magellan's good. I heard that they're getting rid of some of those plans lately, or they're changing them. They call them something else, and they're doing different types of services that are cheaper, I heard. So I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I heard. Simple says no VPN for cellular does not work. Not the same data stream. Okay, I gotcha. Well, they have Wi-Fi calling, Sinful, so I'm not sure. I wonder. Okay, I got you though. You says different, not the same data stream. Okay. Hector Gubat says, doesn't an eSIM work there in the Philippines? I mean, they have the SIM cards, but nobody has the none of the services I know over here have the SIMs where you can just type in the number. As far as I know, yet I think most of them have the regular SIM. At least the ones that you get in the stores and stuff like that. I think if you sign up for a plan, maybe yes, they would probably give you the SIM number and all that stuff, and you put that into your phone. But you know something? If you have Magic app, it uses the app and it uses data, and you can call the U.S. You can call anywhere in the world on Magic app. By the way, guys, you just put load on your phone, and you can call instead of if you want to call someplace other than the United States, you can call China, you can call Japan, you can call Belize, you can call Colombia, Mexico. I've called Mexico on my phone before. And it's great having that. For Android 101, for clear and complete answers to most of the tech questions here can be found on NBTV with Naomi Brockwell. This is one of the best tip I can pass on to you guys. She's pretty too natural redhead. Dickie Spaz says, James, I have the Magellan plan and it works great. Sinful says, Hector goodbye. Yes, they do. Smart has eSIM now. There we go. There's the answer. At the end of the day, they don't know the difference. RLV says US around 5660 today. Yes, it's pretty high. I think we're going to hit 57 and 58 maybe soon the way we're going. That's just a gut feeling I have. We might even hit 60 again. I think it has something to do with the amount of loans that the Philippines is getting, because they're 5 on the list for getting loans from the World Bank. I heard the other day. Michael L says eSIMs are only available for postpaid plans in the Philippines. Okay. For Android 101, regarding eSIMs, your phone must support them, and most phones today don't yet. Well, I think that I think my phone does, if I remember correctly. I mean, I have an iPhone. Michael L. For tech, I would advise following Android Police and ARS Technica. Yeah, I'm not big into like the tech stuff really much. That guys more so than more Philippine information, but that's something I know a little bit about over here. Gurkha 9. All newer phones have built-in SIM support. Simple says, for Android 101, I just picked up the S23 Ultra Unlimited eSIM availability. Gurkha 9 says eSIM. Let's see, we're up to about 87 minutes, guys. That's about our limit here usually. I'll answer a couple more if you guys want to pop up a few more. We're up to 79 people, 71 thumbs up. I want to thank you guys for joining us tonight. But in about 5 minutes, we'll end this. RLV says, if the BSP don't intervene, we will hit 57 to 58 range. And I think we're going to hit that pretty quickly. Be interesting to see how that plays out. But anyway, guys, I'm going to say goodnight here because we're slowing down here. We're at 76 people. Michael L. says the loans that the Philippines is dominated in dollars, so the Philippine Central Bank will defend vigorously at 56. Okay, interesting. But I want to thank Michael and Sinfuls both for helping out tonight with the moderation. Good job, guys. I like nights like this where it's really we don't have any issues. Let's see. Sinful says, thanks for all the good chat. Android 101 says, I got a Doogie, great phones, huge batteries. Joe S.A. I have eSIM with Smart on iPhone, and also have a physical eSIM on the same iPhone with Globe. Works perfect having 2 different carriers on the same. Sinfuls, all have a great week. Hector Gubat, what banks support U-Bikey? I'm not sure. I really couldn't tell you on that one. Android 101, bye-bye, Lang. Thanks all. Michael L., live long and prosper. Michael in the Philippines says, does Smart have voicemail? I have voicemail on mine. Sorry I missed the beginning of the live stream. Yeah, Michael, it does have voicemail. I have voicemail on my phone. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching tonight, and we will try to be on here next week. We don't always make it on here, so if you guys don't see me on here, don't think that I left or anything. It's just that we had something come up or something's going on. And we probably average coming on about 60% of the time for the most part, 60-70% of the time. Anyway, guys, God bless. Take care. Have a good night, guys.